everyone. My name is Alex. I'm one of the recurring hosts of 40K Frontiers when I'm able to make it, and I'll be doing the Leagues of Votann initial takes video for our group. So a couple things on this. First off, this is an initial takes video, so there is no guarantee that I'm going to be right 6 months down the line or that I read everything correctly. This is being done as an initial hot take, so keep that in mind. Don't take my rules here for gospel. I'm also viewing this as somebody with a lot of Death Guard and Custodes experience, so I have felt the pain of 5-inch movement, and I know what a mathematically consistent army looks like, so that's where we're at going into this. So, initial thoughts on the faction. It's very interesting. It's a very aggressive shooting army. Has decent melee, decent psychic utility, so that's the good things, with limited mobility, and not great to bad secondaries. So the key to success for this army that it's built around is the grudge token system, which is like marker lights on crack. The grudge tokens are kind of the special rule that a lot of the Votann book is built around. You have your sub-factions have special interactions with grudge tokens that not every sub-faction is going to have. It's going to vary. And you can give character upgrades that interact with grudge tokens, and they have psychic powers that interact with grudge tokens, and they have strats that interact with grudge tokens, and they have secondaries that require you to have grudge tokens. So that is their gimmick that you're going to be seeing for Votann, which is interesting because in my initial read-through, they don't share keywords with anybody. So Votann are going to stand alone, afraid, and probably on top of a box to see the rest of the battlefield. So they'll be doing this on their own. So what is a grudge token? Why is this so important? Why is everyone writing stuff down in books and lists now? So grudge tokens are part of the Eyes of the Ancestors rule, which is judgment tokens. They are markers or tokens that a unit gets, the enemy unit from the Votann army gets for doing certain things. So completing an action, including psychic actions, gets you a grudge token. Attacking a Votann unit, that's a grudging. And then if you have the audacity to stand on an objective, at the end of a turn, the Votann player gets to pick a unit, and that unit gets a grudge token. There are also warlord traits that will hand out grudge tokens or manipulate grudge tokens around, so it's basically their marker system. And what that does is it gives them hits that auto wound and count as 6s, which interacts with a bunch of other special rules. So 1 grudge token, 6s to hit auto wound, 2 grudge tokens, 5s to hit auto wound, 3 grudge tokens, 4s to hit auto wound, and all of those will count as 6s. This is a book that has a lot of hit rerolls in it, so you're going to see people fishing for those a lot. I personally am not planning on picking up Votann in the position I'm in, so I'm looking at this and how to play into them. And the big things we got going on here is they have limited mobility, like I talked about, and the controlling player, the player playing into the Votann player, has more control over the grudge token system than you initially think. Well, at first it's like, well, if you're not careful, everybody's going to go in the Book of Grudges. Your opponent's going to be able to wipe anything off the board that they can see. Also, notice I said what they can see. This book does not have great indirect. And the melee stuff that, while it is going to hurt when it gets there, is on a 5-inch move platform with, as time of talking, no advance in charge. So, as the defending player, who's very scared of dwarves, you need to control your action economy. Make sure you're not doing actions all over the place. Be very deliberate with what you're doing. Also, make sure that when you're going to kill something, the unit that's going to strike the killing blow needs to be in a position that's defensible when they take return fire, because they're going to. So make it, instead of that unit that you threw out in the center of the board to hold an objective, maybe they'll only have 1 grudge token on them, but make it so somebody farther back gets the other one, so you'll be able to spread those around. A lot of their secondary game is based off grudge tokens, which will give the controlling player a lot of agency, and they'll be able to move stuff around. So that's my initial takes. They're a aggressive shooting army with some good melee, some fun utility, not great mobility, and some bad secondaries. So, just stand outside of arm's reach and make it so they can't see you. Maybe behind a box or something. They can't see over it. Anyway, those are the initial takes. Thank you.